Hello, and welcome to Mandarin Slang Guide, MSG, the Chinese learning podcast that tastes great and probably isn't all that bad for you. I'm your host, Joshua Ogden Davis, and it's my job to bring you all that delicious Chinese slang that your textbook just isn't giving you. Today we'll talk about something I know you're interested in, or else you wouldn't be here. Podcasts. We're going to focus on some basic podcast vocab and then some relevant slang, including 播客, podcast, 主播, host, 迷上, become a fan, and 听下去, keep listening, among others. Now here at MSG, we say go big or go home. So to talk about podcasting, I was lucky enough to grab one of China's most famous and popular podcasters, Aizhe.
I'm honored to be here.
He's also exceedingly humble. Now, I hate reductionist comparisons, but you can think of Aizhe kind of like the Ira Glass of China. His show, 故事FM, or Story FM, is kind of like This American Life. He finds Chinese people with fascinating stories and has them tell their story in their own voice. And this gives Chinese people a look into their own country that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise. And his success makes it all the more surprising that he was willing to sit down with me and read this very silly practice conversation. 你听播客吗？
不怎么听。
我很喜欢故事类的播客，爱哲是我最喜欢的主播。
我就不喜欢听别人巴拉巴拉。
这不是巴拉巴拉，故事 FM 很逗，很感人，我迷上了。
随你，反正播客我听不下去。
那我跟你聊不下去喽，拜拜。Now, if you didn't follow all that, don't worry. Aizhe and I will go through it for you line by line in a minute. But before we got down to the very serious business of slang, I had a chat with Aizhe about the stories that Chinese people seem to respond to the most, and also the value that he finds in storytelling. So what kind of stories get the biggest response from your listeners? Because you have so many different kinds of stories.
Always more controversial ones.
Yeah.
Like sex.
Well, what kind of stories can you tell about sex?
Like a girl told her story about falling in love with a guy who has a wife.
Oh,
so
yeah.
people judge on her.
Right, yeah.
A lot. And also a guy told his story about how he cheated his a girlfriend and how sorry he was. But even he said how sorry he was, people still judge on him. Right. Why don't you kill yourself?
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That sounds like American levels of internet hate. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think more intense.
Yeah. So aside from sex, what else is controversial?
There's one story. It's about, drug dealer's daughter. The girl told her story how she witnessed her parents selling drugs and went to prison in the end, and she cried in the storytelling. The reason we tell that story because we want people to know how the drug dealers' families feel. But some listeners think we are trying to explain how right they are. Maybe we try to defend them. But we just want to give another angle of, feeling.
Do you feel that storytelling in China brings the same value that it does, for example, in the U.S. through This American Life? Or is there a difference in the value that you feel that you bring to a Chinese audience?
I think in general it's the same, but I think it's more valuable here in China.
Really?
Because I think most Chinese people haven't learned how to think in other people's position. That's why when people argue, when people fight, it's very intense. Also create a lot of barrier. I think if you can hold your judgment to listen to other people's story first, try to understand their experience, you can somehow understand why they make this choice. Before you fight him, you can understand him a little bit to make maybe different choice.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you get into storytelling? You weren't always a storyteller, right?
Not always. Actually, my major in college was library science. Library science, you know.
Yeah.
But my interest always in journalism. I love to listen to people's story because I think one can only have one life, you know. Maybe being a journalist is the best way to experience all kinds of life, to expand your life.
Yeah.
So that's why I like storytelling, I think. I listen to a lot of podcasts like Lisa Monkey Life, like Planet Money.
Yeah.
All those English podcasts.
Yeah.
So I always want to listen to a similar podcast in Chinese. I wait for years, but there's no such kind of thing show up. So one day I think, why don't I make one? Maybe I can be the first.
Now, of course, Aizhe had a lot more to say and many more stories to share, but today we're focusing on slang. So at some point in the future, I'll take that whole extended interview and upload it as a special episode. But for now, let's get back to the show. Let's do this conversation one more time.
Sure.
艾哲，你听播客吗？
我不怎么听。
我很喜欢故事类的播客，艾哲是我最喜欢的主播。
我就不喜欢听别人巴拉巴拉。
这不是巴拉巴拉，故事 FM 很逗，很感人，我迷上了。
随你，反正播客我听不下去。
那我跟你聊不下去了，拜拜。
Bye bye.
All right,
cool.
Let's go through this line by line, and I'll have you read each line, and then I will go through it word by word. So the first line is...
你听播客吗?
Yeah, so 你听 is you listen or listen to, and 播客 is the word for...
podcast.
Yeah, and then ma at the end makes it a question. So 你听播客吗 means, do you listen to podcasts? Yeah. Now, 播客, this word I think is very interesting because it sounds like another word which is 博客.
Blog.
Yeah, so blog is 博客. Does that come from the sound for blog?
Yes.
Ah, the difference is the tone. If it's podcast, the first 播 is the first tone, so it's high and flat. 播客.
播 actually means 广播, radio.
Yeah, radio or broadcast.
Yes.
So 博客first because blogs came before podcasts.
I think so.
And then when podcasts came along, there just happened to be another word that sounds like podcasts and also means broadcast, and so it's 播客.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very confusing. Anyway, all you have to remember is 播客 podcast and 博客 is blog.
Blog.
Okay, so 你听播客吗 is do you listen to podcasts? And you replied
不怎么听。
不怎么听. 不 is no, and 怎么 is like how, or asking after like the manner of something. And 听 means listen. It means I don't really listen to it. I don't really 不怎么听.
Or 不怎么吃，不怎么 anything.
I don't really eat 不怎么吃. I don't really like to eat that. It's sort of like you could have just said 不听. I don't listen.
That's kind of an absolute.
Yeah, but 不怎么听, you're being a little bit softer, like, so not saying like, I don't
not
like
too
it.
Much.
It's like, I don't really like it. You're sort of hedging a little bit. So 不怎么听. And then I replied,
我很喜欢故事类的播客，爱哲是我最喜欢的主播。
Yeah. So, sorry, I made you praise yourself and I apologize. So the first half is 我很喜欢, I really like. 我很喜欢故事类的播客.
Storytelling genre.
Yeah, so 故事 is story, like your show, 故事 FM, story radio in a way. And 类 means a type. So 故事类的播客 is a story type podcast. You could also, what other kind of podcast could you have? You have 故事类 and what else?
故事类，脱口秀类。
脱口秀类. So 脱口秀 is a talk show. Hey, I just realized 脱口秀, does that come from the English word talk?
I think so.
Huh.
Show.
Show.
Yeah.
Literally talk show in Chinese is 脱口秀.
Yes.
Huh. Okay, so 脱口秀类. Could I say that, for example, a comedy show could be a 幽默类? Could I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. 新闻类.
Yeah.
News
type.
Yeah. So lots of different 类. But if you hear 类, that might mean type. So 我很喜欢故事类的播客. I really like story type podcasts. Yeah. And the second half is 爱哲, which is a very important word. It's Aize's name. 爱哲是 is 我最喜欢 I most like or my favorite. 我最喜欢的
host, 主播.
Yeah, 主播 means host. The 播 in 主播 is the same as 播客. And 主 means like the main or the host or something like that. So it means the host of the broadcast is the 主播. Does that make sense? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Nice. I felt very nervous when I was saying that. So 爱哲是我最喜欢的主播. 爱哲 is my favorite host.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. And the next sentence is
我就不喜欢听别人巴拉巴拉。
我就不喜欢 我 is me. And 就 here, it doesn't really have a meaning. It just sort of emphasizes what you're saying. So I could say, but it's the same in English, right? If I say, I don't like sandwiches, and I just don't like sandwiches, the meaning is the same, but you're, again, sort of like the same thing with 不怎么听. You're sort of adding a little bit more in to sort of maybe emphasize it a little bit. 我就不喜欢, 不 is no, and 喜欢 is like. So 我就不喜欢, I just don't like. 我就不喜欢听, listen to. 别人, other people. 别人, 巴拉巴拉. And 巴拉巴拉 means
blah blah.
Yeah, it means blah, 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 blah. It's another word that's taken straight from the English, blah, 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 blah. So 我就不喜欢听别人巴拉巴拉. I just don't like listening to other people go
blah
blah,
blah
blah,
blah
blah,
blah.
blah, blah. Yeah. And I replied,
这不是巴拉巴拉，故事 FM 很逗，很感人，我迷上了。
Yeah, so 这不是巴拉巴拉. This is
not
not
巴拉巴拉巴拉。
巴拉巴拉，这不是巴拉巴拉。故事 FM 很逗. What does 逗 mean?
Funny.
Funny. So 很逗 is very funny. 很感人.
Touching.
Touching, yeah. 感人 is 感 means feeling, and 人 is
people, person.
Yeah. So it means it's sort of touching in a personal way.
It's like kind of make people want to cry.
Right. So that's 感人, very touching. 很感人. 故事 FM 很逗, 很感人. 我迷上了. I love this one. 迷, what does 迷 mean?
Fascinated?
Yeah.
Obsessed? Or fall in love?
Really? You can mean like romantic love?
Romantic love, or you fell in love with some kind of art or something you are interested in?
Yeah. Me means, literally, I think it's the word that means to get lost, right? Like, 迷路了 means I got lost, and that's the same me. So it's almost like you're lost in this thing. You can't get out of it. You're sort of, your heart is lost inside of this thing. And you can use it to mean that you're a big fan of something. Like you could say, 我是播客迷. I am a podcast fan or podcast super fan. 我是播客迷, and that's using it as a noun. You could also use it as a verb. If you use it as a verb, you should probably add 上 after it, which means on or in a way. So 我迷上播客了. Yeah, I have become a 播客迷. 我迷上播客了.
That's right.
All right. And the next sentence is
随你，反正播客我听不下去。
随你, 随 means follow.
Follow me and you.
Right. So follow you, it really just means
suit yourself.
Yeah, you can follow your own whatever. It's a little bit impolite to say it this way. 随你, you do whatever you want. 随你. 反正 is anyway. 播客我听不下去. So 反正 is anyway. 播客 is podcasts. 我听 I listen. 不下去 So if you put 下去 after a verb, it means to keep doing that thing.
Yeah.
And it literally means down, go is 下去. But in context, it means to continue doing the thing. But if you put a 不 in the middle, and 不 means no, 听不下去 means I can't listen to it anymore.
Yeah, like for our show, our number one rule is you need to make people 听下去这个故事。
听下去这个故事 would mean make them listen to the whole thing, make them want to keep listening.
Yes, if they pause, they quit the podcast at the middle, means they don't like this episode.
Yeah. You can also say, the movie was so bad, 我看不下去. Or this work is too hard, 我做不下去. 做 means do. It's too hard or it's too whatever, I can't do it anymore. All right, and the last sentence is
那我跟你聊不下去了，拜拜。
Yeah, we have the 下去 again, but 那我 then I 跟你 with you 聊不下去。聊 means
talk, chat.
Yeah, so 聊不下去 means I can't even talk to you anymore. 我跟你聊不下去. I can't even talk to you right now because you said you don't like podcasts.
Yeah. I can't tolerate you.
Yeah, so just like 听不下去,看不下去, you can also 聊不下去. And then at the very end, bye-bye.
Yep.
So let's do this one more time. And with feeling. Let's put all of our acting, all of our story instincts.
So no more speed?
Yeah, we can do it at normal conversation speed.
Okay.
Yeah. See if you can keep up with everything this time. 你听播客吗？
不怎么听。
我很喜欢故事类的播客，爱哲是我最喜欢的主播。
我就不喜欢听别人巴拉巴拉。
这不是巴拉巴拉，故事 FM 很逗，很感人啊，我迷上了。
随你，反正播客我听不下去。
那我跟你聊不下去了，拜拜。So, did you catch them all this time? Let's go over the words again. We have podcast, 播客, host or podcaster, 主播, become a fan, 迷上, keep listening, 听下去, or to not be able to keep listening, 听不下去. And we also had words like funny, 逗, and moving or touching, 感人. I want to say thank you to Aizhe one more time for being so generous with his time. And also thank you to Himalaya, not only for being a wonderful place to listen to podcasts, but also a wonderful place to host your podcast for free. Himalaya! If you're not hosting on Himalaya, you're probably literally throwing away money. Think about that. And last but far from least, thank you to you for listening. If you have any questions or any suggestions for slang that you want us to talk about on the show, shoot us an email. It's mandarinslangguide@gmail.com. It's also written below in the show notes. And by the way, if you have a recommendation for a sign-off, please give me an email, because I've been thinking about the sign-off for the end of the show, and I have lots of ideas that are uniformly horrible. For example, don't forget to take your MSG. Or keep it slangin', which I kind of like, but I'm about 85% sure it's probably a racial slur for somebody. So anyway, keep that percolating in the old brain. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.